The Lagos State House of Assembly says it is committed to making a law that will promote conducive living conditions for residents of the state, especially those in the state's housing estates. The House said this following a complaint of residents of housing estates in Lagos. The residents had petitioned the House over the demolition of illegal structures in their estates, poor infrastructures, land encroachment, among others. During a 2-day tour of some estates in Lagos by the House Committee on Housing, led by Chairman of the committee, Olarenwaju Layode, some of the estate occupants told the committee some of the challenges they face.
This work they are doing is not government that send them. They are on their own. They are doing their own long-throat business. It's illegal. Nobody sent them to come and do this job. They want to do this to push us away from nowhere. And we are Nigerians. We pay tax. I pay tax. And most of us have paid tax. So why?
They say that they want to return the estate to the original master plan. Okay. The lady from Ministry of Physical Planning made an observation that a master plan of 30 years ago cannot suffice anymore. That even Lagos State government had to change their master plan in some places like GRA, that formerly GRA was not totally a residential area, but because of current exigencies that they had to change it to some places to commercial like Isaac John. So they directed LBIC, Ministry of Physical Planning, to come to this estate and liaise with the ESCO so that we can develop a new master plan. After that decision was made, we didn't hear anything again for LBIC, only for them to come back 8 months after to come and demolish. So they just didn't demolish. They came here in a Gestapo manner. They came with trucks of military police. All of them removed their name tags. Sir, it's on record. They arrested me. They slapped me. They put me inside a black marine just because I took picture.
They just came up, breaking our shops. That's our offices. That's what we try to make sense made. We are annoyed. I'm now happy. Me, oh God, I swear mighty God, I'm not happy. Tell Governor Ambode that we are not happy. We are jobless. What do you want to do? What do you want us to do now?
They come on a day like that. They said they don't want shop in the estates. They said we should demolish our shops ourselves. And we've suffered a lot to build the shop. We are all graduates. There is no work. I personally am a graduate. I graduated from a school. I served. All the money I realized from my service, I used it to build my shop. And they came, they said I should demolish everything. That's why I took my apprentice under the tree so that we can live. We cannot go out and start stealing, and there's no how we're going to survive.
February this year, LBIC management gave an order that they should come to the estate to demolish all the structures. That is part of the grievances. Whereas LBIC right from the word go used legality to legalize illegality. We held a meeting with them in the past and they allowed us to put up structures since they were not able to provide us with cubicles where our workers would display or sell their wares. They said we should go ahead to stabilize the environment. We spent our hard-earned money bringing in numerous loads of laterite sand to stabilize the environment. After stabilizing the environment, we went back to them and we sought their permission to allow us to put up some structures, small shops, and they allowed us. They came in here, they carried out a full-scale inspection, and they gave us the rates which we'll be paying, and that everybody, every structure owner will pay according to the size of his or her structure. And we have been paying and obtaining receipts until this new woman, the new managing director of LBIC, in person of Mrs. Folashade Folivi, came in and she said she doesn't want to see any structure any longer. I went to appeal to her. She said she had been to London, she had been to US, these structures are not over there, blah, 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 like that. I even tried to draw her attention to the fact that even in Manchester, there are cake lamps, there are cubicles with sanitary conveniences. In London, a lot like that. A situation whereby we are not tenants, we are owner-occupiers, we are landlords and landladies. At least where we spend our time and money to develop the environment, Kosi demands that you have a breathing space where to relax in the evening hours and where our workers will sell something. So it decided to revoke that kind of previous allocation papers, and she said the people should go ahead with complete demolition. As a result of which some people, particularly the aged, they were hospitalized. At Isolo, about 3 people died as a result of the unexpected demolition. The demolition had caused a kind of distress. They have put bitterness on the faces of people.
Responding to their complaint, Layode assured residents that the House will work with the state executive to ensure living conditions and complaints by the occupants of the estates were addressed.
I've seen a lot of complaints from the residents in the estate to all that they are demolishing their properties and their buildings. And so far, from my two down here, we have seen some of these estate residents also that they also are contravening the law that they're supposed to follow in their estate. Like they are also erecting some kiosks and container shops within the estate. And so far we have been asking them the question, why are you doing this? And at the end of the day, we can see that the original plan, where they are asking them for a market, it has been a problem that the so-called LBIC, they are on the ground, are selling it and allocating it for themselves and turning it to residential, like what has happened in Mile 2, where a person living inside a marketplace for where those estate people, they should be using as their marketing their stuff, and that one has been allocated to people.
Residents did not comply with the laid down rule and procedures. But at the same time, the MD was inhuman in his approach, because because we discovered that she was able to poke most of those buildings, most of those shops, then sending them out without proper notice. And they said they've been there for so long a period of time. They had letter of allocation issued to them by the LBIC, though temporary, and they've been paying they pay for this certain amount of money for ground rent. They've been paying a certain amount of money for ground rent for a long period of time. And when she came on board, they sought to have a meeting with her, and she'd been evasive somehow. They said they made several attempts that she rebuffed them, and each time they, planned to see her, she's always evasive, and had to come to their estate. And within 3 days, they came in and started demolishing the place. We feel we are in a democratic setting, and the essence of governance is for the welfare of the people, the security and welfare of the people. And with approach of our government, the governor is trying to involve everybody, inclusive governance. And with that approach, it is certain that the governor will not tell him to go and do that. And from what we know, whichever, we tell her to go and do that. But from what we know, usually physical planning, you inform physical planning, and the physical planning are in the better positions to write a memo to His Excellency for necessary approvals before asking the task force to go and do it. Then we ask her what has precipitated the idea of her going there to do it. Is it within her purview to do that? She said no, she didn't do that, that she has to request or consult people to do it for her, on her behalf. So we still want to look into the books, look at our books, look at the law that established the LBIC, look at where she is today, and look at it critically. Let everybody sit on it and look at it objectively and see if she's working within the province, the confines of the law. So if she's not working within the confines of the law, it will be too bad.
My constituency, they are saying they don't want them to relocate them to another place. They want their estates to remain there. They want redevelopment. They want the Lagos State government to come and redevelop for them. And on behalf of the people of my constituency, people of Jakonde Estate and the people of Ikota Estate, I want to appeal to our amiable and viable and versatile governor. He is a listening governor. I know he's going to listen to my people. Yes. What I want from him as the representative of my constituency is we want redevelopment. They don't want to be relocated. they want to remain in Ikota Estate and they want to remain in Jakande Estate. Thank you very much.
Given the ecological problem that this fencing that they have on now can cause, what is the palliative measure that you plan putting in place to assist the people?
Yeah, definitely what I think they should do for now is to stop the fencing. You understand? Because people are saying they don't understand the level of the fence. You can see the fence is very high. Yes. Well, I will plead to the governor or to the Lagos State government to come to their heads so that they can see what they can do as soon as possible. You understand? To relieve my people. That is what we want for now. And I believe our governor and Lagos State government as a whole, and my amiable speaker, Obasa, right honorable speaker Obasa, I know he has a listening here to our governor too. I know they work hand in hand together and to bring development to this Ikota Estate and Jakande Estate by the nation.
Well, we are here in Ikota housing estate in Obalende, Aja, here. What we are here for is that we receive a letter from the housing estate residents here in the house on behalf of our speaker, Honourable Olarenwaju and the entire Honourable House. They decided to set up a ad hoc committee that we should come and look into the problem. They reported to us that the LBIC are the one giving them problem, fencing them, allocating their land to them. But you know, we cannot judge without coming here to perform our own oversight function. And to here today, you also can see what is going on here. But we have tried to talk with the community leaders and their resident president and their association that they should come, and more information that they are trying to tell that maybe from the governor, from the assembly. No, our governor cannot support that illegality. If governor want to do anything here, he will call the association, he will call all the residents here, they will see them and they will know the position before commencing. But now we are trying to tell them that they should be calm and they should also be very gentle to the people. We shouldn't fight. That we will report the message back to the house, and from the house we also will pass our message to the Excellency, the Governor Akeomi Ambody, with what we have seen on ground so far. So that is what we have seen.
Your submission on Jakande.
Also, more so in the Jakande Estate, we have been in Jakande Estate also. We have seen a lot of the kind of dilapidation of the buildings in that place, which the government need to come into their aid in the very, very fast. And more so, the residents also were complaining for that they should come and try and redevelop the estate, not only the housing, even all the infrastructure in that Jakande estate at Ajadi over there. What we have seen so far also, we are going back to the house to go and report to the entire member and the leadership of the house and sit down with the necessary authority through the governor and to know the next step that we want to take.
Our correspondent reports that the Lagos State House of Assembly Committee on Housing visited estates in Mile 2, Jakande, Ikota, Abeso Housing Estate, among others, during a 2-day tour.